Hello again, it's Carla McLaren, and I wrote the book, The Language of Emotions, What Your Feelings Are Trying to Tell You. And as you can see, it's kind of a big book. But what is funny about this book is that it is the first book that has ever been written in the history of ever that includes all of the emotions in terms of how they work, what they're trying to tell you, and how you can work with them. That's a bizarre thing for me to see, but it helps me understand how far in the shadow emotions are in our entire world, right? So the book is big because it's the first book of its kind. And people have been asking me for many years, well, that's great, but when I'm out in nature, or when I'm out having conversations, how do I remember what the questions are for anger? Or how do I remember what shame does and why it comes up? And how do I remember how to respond to fear? This is too big. So what we did was make a set of cards, right? They're called the Language of Emotion cards. And these cards simplify the book in terms of, for instance, in this one, let me see if I can see this. Understanding hatred. You can be out and about and feel some hatred and understand, oh, okay, so the gifts of hatred, we all know the downsides of hatred, right? That's clear. But the hatred also has gifts. Hatred is a really important emotion if you know what you're doing. The gifts are intense awareness, piercing vision, and shadow work. The questions are, what has fallen into my shadow? What must be reintegrated? So you can just quickly look at that. Or let's say fear. Fear, most people teach you to hate and distrust fear, but they're highly mistaken. Fear is your intuition and your instincts. So the gifts are intuition, instincts, focus, clarity, readiness, and the internal question is what action should be taken. Fear is a very action-focused emotion. Right? So you have all of the emotions. There are 17 of them that I cover in my work. And there are also the 5 empathic mindfulness skills. And the empathic mindfulness skills, I developed them so that people could learn to work directly with emotions in a meditative way, in a mindful way. So each skill that I teach depends on one or more emotions so that people can get exercise with, they can become familiar with the emotions that live inside them and that are informing everything they do and everything they think, right? So these 5 skills are getting grounded and focused, defining your boundaries, rejuvenating yourself, burning contracts, and conscious complaining, which is, I call it the simplest healing of all. You just find a place, say, I'm complaining now, and you start complaining, and then when you're done, you're done. And it's an amazing clearinghouse for emotions that get squashed by pretty much everybody telling you that emotions are negative or positive, which is absolutely untrue. There are no negative emotions. There are no positive emotions. If you agree with the idea that there are negative and positive emotions, you will never learn to work with them. It's a guarantee. Because if an emotion is negative, right, why would you want it anywhere in your life? You'll just avoid it or repress it or just pretend that it's not happening. So one of the most important things is to understand emotions are a complete system. There are no bum emotions that need to be thrown away. There are no fabulous emotions that you need to feel all the time. All emotions are equally important in the healthy running of your entire psyche and your entire life. So the Language of Emotion cards gives you a quick and easy way to say, whoa, what am I feeling and what do I do about it? So that's why we made these. The book, yes, it's important to understand, the basis behind what we're doing. But once you do, these cards are great. They're available on my website, carlamclaren.com, and they are $11. You have a choice of bags. I showed you the purple bag that it was in. There's purple, sapphire, and green. Come on over. Thanks very much. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.